Hey everybody, it's Miguel, and welcome to our Wednesday update. We're in an exciting period again in the life of our church. After a year of being separated and behind the mask, and at the beginning of last year, as we all know, around this time, we weren't meeting at all, trying to figure out a whole bunch of new things of how we were going to connect. It's exciting because we're starting to see each other again in a more regular way. Mask mandates have been removed, although, as we know, in many shopping centers, they're still requiring masks. And as we talked about over the last couple of weeks, here at IVC, we're having a mask optional environment, still social distance seating, but mask optional for all of us, and mask mandatory for all of the team and staff and volunteers working on any particular Sunday. And as we're kind of getting back into a groove of seeing each other again, and maybe more of us have indicated in some way that you're going to be coming back, there's obviously a whole bunch of activity that we stopped doing as a church that we would really love for us to re-engage again. And we know it's going to be phasing things in, and we know that it's going to take some time to really get back to whatever the new normal is supposed to be. But there's something I want to read to you out of Scripture. It's in 1 Corinthians chapter 14. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 14 obviously comes after 13, which comes after 12. And every week we read out of chapter 11, we're talking about the Lord's Supper. So this whole section of Scripture is about what happens when the people of God gather together in a meeting, right? When we're gathered together. So there's this way in which we're supposed to handle communion, and the way in which we're supposed to treat people at the church, how we're supposed to behave in a variety of ways. There's this whole chapter 12 on spiritual gifts, and then diversity in the body, yet unity in the body. And then, of course, chapter 13, the great love chapter. And then there's chapter 14. And that's really about how we actually functionally do service, right? What do we do when we get together? That it makes sense for everyone, right? There's this whole context of, speaking in tongues and prophecy, and we want everyone to prophesy, but it has to make sense. So people who are around, especially if they're new to the whole spirit world environment, or they're new to Jesus, or they don't know Jesus, that there's a way in which we interact, right? The way that we would do church. And so it's this really amazing picture of the body, the family of God, as they're getting together. And then in chapter 14, verse 26, I'm going to read the couple scriptures to you. So it says, "What then shall we say, brothers and sisters? When you come together, each of you has a hymn or a word of instruction, a revelation, a tongue, or an interpretation. Everything must be done so that the church would be built up." Isn't that an interesting scripture? Everything that's to be done when we get together is for the point of building up the church. And Paul says it this way, he says, how is it, when you guys get together, everyone has something to share. Everyone has something to give. Now, it was specifically psalms and hymns and spiritual songs and revelation, interpretation. It was kind of how the spirit activity would work. It also relates to everything that we do. It needs to be to the building up of the church. And I honestly believe that every one of us have gifts that God has given, right? Some of those things may even feel really natural to you. Like maybe you're just great at hospitality, right? It's just what you do. You love when you can be around people and create a warm environment in your home, or really wherever you are. For some of us, we like order, right? So when you walk into an environment, you see the things that are out of order and you want to fix it. Some of us want to say hello to everyone, while others of us just like to be left alone and find a way in which we can serve or be served quietly. Every one of us come together with something to give. And we actually, as a church, need all of us to bring all of our gifts together again. You might remember this more than a year ago now, where we had teams of people who were dealing with greeting and usherings and kids and cleanup and setup and audio and visual and working with cameras and just all kinds of activity that would happen on a Sunday when we gathered together. And over the last year, well, it kind of came down to a really small group of us who felt we were going to continue to serve in that way because we were going to still be around. Absolutely understanding that for many of us, being around was really hard and complicated. But now that as we are re-engaging our Sunday activities and re-engaging Sunday services, we're asking for all of us, especially those who really do want to get involved and serve, to find a way to do that. Now, there's a variety of ways in which you can let us know, but one of the simplest is if you go to ivcinfo.net. There's going to be a serve button there. And you can click that, and it's going to take you to a list of activities in which you can help bring your gifts to help the functioning of our church family and really get involved. I like how Paul said, all of you, when you come together, everybody has something to share, right? Now, like I said, some of us like to be up at the front. Maybe you play an instrument, you sing, you have been engaged in worship before, and it's been a while, but you want to be, right? You want to be involved again. Please let us know. Again, go to ivcinfo.net, click the serve button, and there's a way in which you can let us know, and Kima will get in touch with you to help you figure that out. But maybe you're a behind-the-scenes person. You're the upfront thing, and you like to be quiet and by yourself. That's awesome, because there's a variety of activities in which you can help. There's audio, there's video, there's recording our messages online and helping with that whole environment of doing the switching and making sure what's happening for our people at home who are watching to have a great experience. Now, I'm learning, right? This past Sunday, that's what I was doing. I was Jay for a Sunday, and I experienced the nervousness of, I want to get this right because people's experience at home. But after a while, you just kind of realize, okay, I can do this. It's something that I can learn. So I'm asking every one of us to find a way in which we can get involved again. How is it that everyone, when you get together, someone has a psalm, someone has a hymn, someone has an interpretation, someone has a spiritual song, someone has something to share. It seemed like when the body got together, the family got together, everybody used their gifts. And so we're asking every one of us to ask ourselves, God, what is it that I can give? What is it in my gift mix that I can bring to the church and help in a variety of ways? And maybe it's more than just Sunday. We're kind of figuring out some other pieces as well about organizing events, or if you have ideas for outreach or service projects, a way in which we're going to start re-engaging in a larger way as we had in the past. Now, we're trying to figure out what a new normal is going to look like. So we're just asking you to help us figure out this big piece together. Get involved this week by, at the beginning, ivcinfo.net, click the serve button and let us know. And then we can begin finding ways to help you get involved and serve here at the church. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you. We look forward to seeing you this coming Sunday at 10:30. God bless.